Again.
He's muted. He's on mute or something. I don't see him in the participants.
Number total. Again.
Okay.
Good afternoon, everyone. The House of Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited extends a very warm welcome to all the panelists of today's discussion on decoding CUET, and thanks them for taking time out from their busy schedule, keeping the interests of the students in mind. A big thank you to all the teachers and students for joining in to listen to what educators, authors with vast experience have to say on this newly introduced Common University Admission Test, CUET. Before we get down to brass tacks, a bit about the House of Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited. We are pioneers in the field of book publishing in post-independence India, catering to students from pre-primary to university level, churning out over 500 regular titles besides adding new ones to our stable. Known for competently written, elegantly produced, and reasonably priced books, our publications are widely prescribed in reputed schools and colleges across the country and also in some neighboring countries. Our authors are distinguished academicians, professors, and educationists with vast experience and expertise. We are proud to be associated with them. I now introduce you to today's panelists of our discussion. These are big names who have carved a niche for themselves in the field of education. It is a pleasure to have them all here today. Mr. A.P. Sharma. Mr. Sharma is currently Principal, Birla Public School, Doha, Qatar. With over 30 years of experience as leader and academician, Mr. Sharma has won many laurels in his career. He has been the recipient of CBSE Award 2010, National Award 2014, Award for Women Empowerment from UNESCO and Delhi Commission for Women 2016, Academician of the Decade Award from WEF 2016, and Exemplary Leadership Award 2018, to name a few. Mr. Sharma has authored many articles on education and parenting. An expert on design thinking, he has worked in collaboration with the Willem de Kooning Academy, the Netherlands, for 7 long years, and with MIT USA, and is working towards spreading awareness about latest pedagogy in education. In fact, there's still a lot more to his list of achievements. This is Kavita Mathur. Mrs. Mathur is currently Associate Director, Academics, Velammal Knowledge Park, Chennai, where she oversees complete academic program in its 22 schools. An experienced academic head with a demonstrated history of working in the education management industry, Mrs. Mathur has been a teacher since 1989. In a 34-year career span, she has not only headed schools, but also successfully helped set up new ones. She has been a founder member of an international school, as well as principal of a residential school. As Associate Director, Academics, State Anandaram Jaipuria Group of Educational Institutions, she was responsible for planning, development, execution, and assessment of academic affairs. Interestingly, she has also been a blog writer for an American website, inventorspot.com. Dr. Dharam Verma. Dr. Dharam Verma is Director, DBS Schools, Bhopal and Indore. With a teaching experience of over 3 decades, he has also been Principal, Mount Litera Z School, Indore, Dean Academics, and Dean of Sports at Delhi College, Indore for over a decade, and also Head Department of Commerce at the same college for 12 years. Besides, he has also been Housemaster for Senior Boarding House for 10 years at the Delhi College, and was appointed by CBSE as Head Examiner for Accountancy and Business Studies, Class 12, the post he held for more than 14 years. He's also authored reference books for economics and business studies. Wow, so much to his credit. CA Dr. G.S. Grewal. Dr. Grewal, the name which is synonymous with our popular accountancy books titled Double Entry Bookkeeping, catering to CBSE and various other state boards, is a man with many hats. A practicing chartered accountant, he has been rendering professional assistance to corporates for the past 3 decades. An alumnus of the prestigious Shri A.P. College of Commerce, he is member, Board of Studies, Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, member, Student Skill Enrichment Board, Board of Studies, ICAI, member, Financial Reporting and Review Board, ICAI, recipient of the award for contribution as academician and writer by NIRC of ICAI, member, NCERT Committee for Development of Commerce Dictionary, member, Projects Development Group, Accountancy, NCERT, and faculty for teachers training program conducted by NCERT and SCERT, besides visiting faculty to various schools, colleges, and institutes. And last but not the least, I take the pleasure of introducing you to the moderator of today's discussion, CA Rima Grewal. Having worked with a multinational professional services company, she is now contributing to our DEBK books in a big way, and her contributions to our publications are noteworthy. I now request Rima ji to take you through today's discussion on an important topic. CA Rima Grewal. Please. Thank you.
Thank you, Malik sir. So good afternoon, everyone. We welcome you today to an interesting session, hopefully going to be an interesting session for the one of the most unique events that are going to happen in the history of Indian education. It begins from this coming session, and we are here to discuss some topics which will be of relevance for the teachers as well as students who are going to appear for the exams now. CUET, Central Universities Entrance Test, most likely to be held in July, and we are aware that the last date of applying to it is on 31st May. So a lot of discussions and deliberations must be going on right now. So we begin now, before taking a lot of waiting time, we begin now here. And what we are going to do is we are going to discuss the topics one by one. We're going to take the views of all our panelists, and that's how the program is going to develop. So we begin with the first topic of our discussion today. It's about the basic of the entrance test that is going to happen and the new admission system that has been introduced into the education undergraduate system. And I now, first of all, will, I'm sorry, I'll introduce Mr. A.P. Sharma. Is he there? Is he unmuted? Sir, Shri A.P. Sharma.
Mr. A.P. Sharma, are you?
I don't see him there. I think he has probably been...
Ashish, can you look into it?
Yes. Ashish, can we request you to look at this? Maybe he has dropped out. So we'll start with Ma'am Miss Kavita. Ma'am, can you elaborate a little bit on the new admission system which has been introduced through CUET?
So I would really like to quote the National Testing Agency. They have given a very beautiful distinction between board exams and CUET. There was a lot of conversation as to why do we need to have a CUET when we've already got a board examination. So they gave a very simple difference, saying that the board examination is actually an achievement examination, whereas CUET will be a selection examination. Having said that, to say very briefly, this is an examination which the government has thought of to kind of bring everybody onto one common platform. We've been facing this problem for many years, different boards, different set of scores being given, different set of questions being given. And so some students score much higher. Some boards tend to give them higher marks because of the way the question papers are planned. Again, there's always this little conversation going on that private school students tend to get higher marks as compared to government school students. So there have been very many factors already existing, and perhaps the need for a common university entrance test was always there. I'm just happy that the government has finally taken this decision to bring everybody together onto a common platform.
Can we request Shri Dharam Verma to also give his views on the same?
About the CUET,
Yes, sir.
this exam actually was first time tested in the year 2010. In the year 2010, although the number of universities who took admissions through this test were less, and in the year 2021-22, the number of universities increased to 21 central universities. Now the number has increased to 54 universities, as per my latest information. So it is not a new thing for NTA. NTA has done this job earlier. So the good thing about this test I find is there is a shift of focus from rote memorization to your critical thinking ability being tested now. Plus, you have the option of working extra. Suppose for some reason or the other, your luck has not been good, or the years this particular year has not been good to anyone. So you have a second chance to improve your score. So even if your scores are not good in your board exam, still you have a fair chance to prepare well and take the tests and get into the best of the universities available for you this year. So I am very positive about the examination, admission, new pattern about CUET, and internal choices are also being given here. So that is another good thing for the students. They don't have to really concentrate on only domain specific subjects. They have option of working on to different areas. So new admission through CUET is a good idea, and I fully feel happy that although there will be different opinion, people will say timing has not been good, 2 years have been bad for us, but those who are sure of going for good colleges, they don't have to wait for the last day or last month. They do their preparations right from class 11th onwards, or maybe 10th onwards. So they have some clue, and then they will have almost 30 days for preparations, and they will be able to perform well and go to the best of the colleges of their choice.
Right, absolutely. And now may I request Dr. G.S. Grewal to also express his views.
Thank you, Rima. I fully agree with what Dr. Kavita and Dr. Dharam Verma has said. It's a very, very welcome step taken by the government. And entrance test is not a new thing. There are so many courses after 12th which are through the entrance test. If I talk about foundation of Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, they do not bother how much marks a student has got in class 12. They have to appear for the foundation, and then they can start their CA right away. But one positive, very positive thing is, as Dr. Dharam Verma has said, that shift has to be there from rote learning to concept-based learning. That also leads to a situation where we teachers have to change our teaching methodology. Now we will have to answer why this is being done. Because I believe when why is clear, how becomes easy. So right from class 11, we will have to teach our students why we are doing this. If I talk particularly about accountancy, which is my subject, accountancy is a very, very logical subject. For every transaction entry, there is a reason. And now we will have to explain why we are doing it. And rightly, student will have to decide at class 11 and 12 whether they are going to go to Central University through the CUET, or they want to go to the CA or CS or MBA. Even 5-year course is there in the MBA as well. So they will have to decide, and our teaching methodology will change altogether. But there is a challenge also now. Because of this rationalization of syllabus, certain topics were deleted, which are there in the CUET syllabus. Students will have to learn them, understand them. And that is a challenge. And also there's another challenge. CBSE follows what NCERT says, but in ISC board, ISC council examination, particularly in the accounting, their treatments are different than what NCERT has given. So students will have to face this challenge as well, where what NCERT says and what the council says, there's a difference. But CUET examination is going to be based on the NCERT. And again, my overall view is that yes, it is a very, very welcome sign, welcome step taken by the government. And all this, what I feel started about 4 or 5 years ago in SRCC. There were about 10 admissions from the same school, which was a state board examination. So probably that triggered. It was investigated. I don't know whether it's true or not true, but investigations, yes, but that is true that 10 students were admitted. So all this triggered to have a common entrance test. It's a very, very welcome sign. Thank you.
Thank you. So, well, we now understand that uniformity, to bring about uniformity was the key, was the need of the hour. And therefore, CUET has been introduced so that all the boards and all the students giving any board, irrespective of their region and subjects, can be allowed to appear for that central entrance exam and score well. Of course, second chance was an important point Sir made. So now the next topic that we're going to talk about is the challenge that the students will face, considering the fact that board exams are still on and the CUET will be held sometime in July. They will have very less time, probably a month's time, to be able to prepare themselves for CUET. So I'd request Kavita ma'am to speak a little bit about it, how the students can, what will be the impact on it, and how can they, go a notch above and prepare for the CUET while preparing for the boards maybe. And if any tips or any, guidance can be given from you, ma'am.
So let me first tell you that this particular batch of 22-23 has been through a lot already, a lot of experimentations, a lot of new things they have already faced. They have had a tough year last year while they were in class 11th. They have been learning gaps, which they are facing right now through no fault of their own, just how situation was. You see, the board switched over to an MCQ pattern for the first term. Then they had the board exam in 2 parts. Not only that, then the board exam was also delayed. It's going to finish in May. Normally it finishes off by April. So one more new thing, I think, is not much of a challenge for them. They've already faced enough challenges this year. One more thing of introducing entrance exam for college, for Central University, should not be very difficult for them, considering that a lot of preparation has gone into planning this examination. On the websites, the syllabus is already available. So what I would have to say for the students is that actually there is nothing much to worry about. All they need to do is check their syllabus right now, because the papers are still going on. Rather, they've known about this CUET exam from the beginning of their board exam. And they should just pick up common topics for alignment, focus on them. And like it has been discussed in the panel just now, the whole focus has shifted from rote to conceptual learning. And that is what I feel is the biggest tip. Every student who's appearing for the CUET should have a copy of the syllabus in front of them, should be actually studying. So it's not really going to be too much of an extra pressure on them. Just that I feel keeping this syllabus and this pattern, the mock papers are all available on the website, keeping this pattern in mind, I think the learning would be more for the students than it would have been had they just been preparing for the board. Because as we all know, our board exams are very, very marks oriented. However, this will make a lot of difference. I think, the advantage the students this time will have is that usually there's a lot of subjectivity in the evaluation of the board exams. This one will take care of all that. So students can actually be more relaxed while giving their board exams. They don't have the pressure of the entrance also of the universities. And a lot of universities have their own entrance criteria. So it's not as if, the whole pressure is falling on their heads. I think the children just need to be very organized, be relaxed, be focused on whatever they are learning for the board exam, so that same learning takes them forward for the next exam.
All right. Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you for that valuable input, ma'am. And Mr. Dharam Verma, would you like to add something here?
Yes. Kavita ma'am, thank you for your input. One thing which was good in bad year was that they had to face MCQs, and now they were tested on MCQs.
Right.
They have had some experience of MCQs. That's one thing which is good for them. So they have got some idea how to prepare for the MCQs. MCQ has advantage because subjectivity is eliminated, agreed. But to successfully attempt MCQs, your knowledge has to be precise. You can't, in a subjective type exams, what happens, examiners feels कि idea तो है उसको, तो थोड़ा marks दे देते हैं. But here it is either 1 or either 5 or you get -1, because there is a negative scoring also.
Yes.
So the students will have to be very careful about MCQs. Your preparation has to be really up to the date. Plus, whatever NCERT is syllabus is there has to be kept in mind. You can't rely on your knowledge of your board, because your board has tested on certain topics which may not be part of NCERT.
Right.
And similarly, for those CBSE school students, unfortunately or fortunately, due to COVID, some portions were deleted. But because of this, there will be learning gap of class 11th content, which is relevant for 12th. The child will have to really brush up those topics again. Another challenge which I feel here would be, normally what happens when the child moves into class 11th and 12th, the focus is pure board. And they don't actually focus on the current affairs, general knowledge. These aspects are totally ignored. Now the child has to attempt, out of 75 questions, 60 questions. So 1 hour paper is there for that. So there has to be a special effort put in to take care of this area, which normally students neglect because they focus purely on their academics in the last 2-3 months. So their current affair goes haywire. So they need to, my advice to all those who are students of schools, they need to be good in their certain habits like reading newspaper on daily basis. Your vocabulary improves, your current affair is taken care, and your general knowledge also to some extent is taken care. So these aspects, if done systematically, MCQs for that proper understanding of concept has to happen. That if taken care, so those who have not done well because of the bad year, they have a golden chance to improve and go to the best of the university, which is their priority number 1 list. My good wishes to them for that.
Right. And also just to add here, they also have an option to select the subjects they want to appear.
Yes, the domain specific subjects are there. Even language, they can
Yes.
improve now if they have not done well. Because normally in our country, English, particularly so-called English medium school students, they don't study English throughout the year. They study only at the end. So
the medium of taking the paper is also an added advantage. They can
Yes.
take the paper in whichever language they want to.
Yes,
Of the 13 languages listed out.
yes.
Ms. Grewal, I am back in panel
Oh, great.
Hi, sir.
for some seconds.
We could make that out. You dropped out because of some network issues. So we have happened to discuss a few topics, sir. Welcome back, though. We've discussed some topics.
Yeah, I missed just for 1 or 2 seconds.
Okay.
If you allow me, I can take up both the questions.
Absolutely,
Yes.
sir. Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Absolutely.
So first thing was very interesting, that why CUET, and a few people are telling that CUET is not that cute, and the only reason for that is that yes, the timing was a little bit less, but undoubtedly it is a welcome step. As we used to discuss, I discussed with the Dr. Grewal and many other CBSE officials also, that most of the time we used to find that there was a rat race, that how different boards can give 100 out of 100 in all subjects in different part of the country. So in few states, children were getting 100 out of 100. And that's why DU first list, first cutoff used to be 100. Very surprising. And there were some poor states. Poor states means these states were very harsh enough. They were not giving full marks. And the topper used to get hardly 85 or 90% marks, for example, in UP and Rajasthan. And these children were not getting admissions. Now, only thing is that this particular time, this will be indiscriminately. Why indiscriminately? Because you'd have seen that in the market, new shops have opened. And the signboards have changed, and they have started that, yes, with all IIT, JEE, this, that, and IELTS and all, now we are preparing students for CUET. So come in our coachings. So there will be a very big challenge for the education system to cope up with that. And I'm very happy that most of the children are not moving towards these, the 7 days crash course or 1 month crash course. Now they need to concentrate on the subject. The education system in India had been very average. And then we have seen that in the PISA examination last time, we were 83rd out of 84, and this time we withdrew after checking our, again, the preparation. The reason is that we believed in a different kind of learning where we used to get only marks. Here, more important is application. Dr. Grewal, when he visited my school, we were talking about this only, that children have forgot how to apply the things, and that is the problem. So whenever they are going abroad or in their own areas, they are unable. Now preparing for this exam will be very interesting. Like I'm from economics, and today was economics paper. So I'm happen to be in Delhi because I'm the member of that expert group. We were talking about the subject. We were talking to the CBSE people also, and few more experts in subject. In this also, CUET, different boards, different states have different kind of the concept building and syllabus. Now in CBSE also, the children need to learn some of the microeconomics also, which they studied in class 11. In class 12, they studied only Indian economy and national income is the macroeconomics. Though this is some time, and I'm quite sure most of the schools, will be helping these students to find out the way and the concept of objective type of questions. And it is not tough task because board has already included such kind of questions in last 2 years, and there has been a lot of practice with the case studies and all. Now children need to know about 2 concepts. One is elimination concept, means how to eliminate wrong answers to come to the correct answer. And the second one, they need to do the vast study, and that vast study means going to the concepts, learning the concepts, and knowing it perfectly. So good, at least what Grewal was telling, that from one school there were 10, not 10, there were 46. There were 46 in one particular, like 97 to 100, and all 46 got admission in one of the reputed college. It was really very bad because from various states, children were moving to that particular school and these particular states for class 12th examination. Thank God, it is a welcome step. Only thing is let us pray to the Almighty that not children are thinking that, yes, let us move to the coaching classes and children are not coming to the schools. I'm quite sure there is a lot of discussion going on for that. Because today there was a very interesting thing that people were asking, why don't we take some proportion of their CBSE marks also? But if we take the proportion of CBSE marks, various state marks, again there is a competition. Then there will be few boards, they will be giving 100 out of 100. So children who are coming from those states where marks are a little bit harsh or very tight, children will be losing out. So I'm quite sure through this discussion, there will be very good ideas which children will get to know. Thank you so much.
Sharma, I just, since you touched on a very important aspect, although that is the third point in the agenda, that relevance of class 12th result will be of importance or not, and the schools will have different kind of challenge. Here, if I'm allowed to add, a board exam should not be taken score as the admission criteria, agreed, but to make the relevance there for the board exam, something in the form of somebody scoring 75 given 1 mark extra, somebody touching 80 gets 1.5 mark, and somebody touching 85 getting 2 marks. If that formula could be, at least there will be a seriousness in the schools that board will also give them additional score in their total score of the admission test.
I think I agree with Dr. Verma. Otherwise, the board exam will lose its relevance completely.
Yeah,
We need to have
some formula. I'm not saying take 100% marks or 50% marks. No, I am saying give some weightage.
Yes.
Somebody touching 75 gets 0.5. Somebody touching 80 gets another 0.5. Like that. Some formula, maybe 4 to 5 marks added in the overall score.
I think considering the strength that we have, we will need to do it because there will be a lot of students who will be scoring, let's say, 60 out of 75. Then how do you categorize them?
Yes.
Each university is anyway planning to have their own criterias for admission for different courses.
Some weightage. I am not saying
I agree.
50% or 40%. I am saying some weightage in the total score of the child.
No, I see. I think individual colleges can be given a leverage where they can fix up class 12 examination marks are going to be say Shri A.P. College of Commerce. They can say 75% minimum and rest is CUET score.
That minimum eligibility, of course, is already there. I think I'm going through the instructions. 55% score they have kept minimum.
No, Dr. Verma, one thing is absolutely clear from this. That student will have to concentrate on concept learning in class 11 and class 12. Only then the student will be able to do well in the CUET exam. Otherwise not. Because MCQ answering is not that simple. As Dr. Sharma has pointed out, they have to learn the elimination process.
Yes.
Suppose the matching question comes. There the elimination has to be done, and that question can be done in just 1 minute instead of spending 2-3 minutes on it. So, but that is only possible only and only if the students' concepts are clear, and that is from class 11 and class 12. Board marks may not matter, but the knowledge that we teachers have to impart at the school level will play a very, very vital role in their performance in the CUET. Because right now, even nobody is clear what kind of MCQs are going to come.
Yes.
There are templates are, circulated in the various groups, but maybe the questions do not come from those templates, or maybe part of those templates are used. Nobody knows unless or until mock test papers are released by NTA. And as Dr. Kavita Mathur said, NTA is doing a wonderful job. Wonderful job in the sense they are preparing, they are working day and night to prepare the mock test papers.
Yes.
And I'm privy to certain information. They are working very hard, and I'm sure in next 2 weeks' time, we will have some kind of a clear guideline what kind of questions are going to come. And at that point of time, what I feel we teachers have a responsibility to guide our students how to attempt those questions. Like I gave the example of matching question, similarly sequencing question, similarly combination questions, maybe assertion reason based questions. So we will have to give guidance to our students how to attempt in the minimum possible time. But MCQs are not that simple to answer. And Dr. Verma rightly said, logical thinking has to develop, then the general knowledge has to develop. And if we talk about, say, accountancy or economics or business studies, the language plays a very, very important role in it. And there, the students must be very, very well conversant, very much understanding the language in which they are going to take the examination. I think this is what my view is about. Individual colleges may be given a liberty to fix a minimum percentage of class 12 board exam results, but admission will be based on CUET. So that will not, in any way, it will not bring down the importance of board examination. That's my view, because we are going to concentrate, we have to change our teaching methodology, we have to, we have to teach our students based on concepts and telling them why. And when it is clear, they will be able to do their CUET exam very well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, we actually hijacked it from the moderator, but this is what panel discussion where a lot of brains are working. So I would like to tell very interesting thing that I am the member of 2 state boards where they are planning that how they will change. Now the most important thing is objective type of questions like in PISA examination, which is an international benchmark examination. They give maximum concentration on reading comprehension. Reading comprehension means what you read, how much you comprehend. And there is a country, Peru, they means jumped leaps and bounds because of this reading comprehension concept. And the states are planning to take up the same kind of system right from class 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, where they are putting a lot of emphasis on reading comprehension. Then children are understanding on the application. So things are not coming from the passage directly, but the application or the actual meaning or logical deduction of that particular passage. That will start and be all schools need to change their assessment system. Over to Miss Grewal.
So I will share a very important information with you all, that I am member of the Board of Studies of Chartered Accountants of India. And in the last meeting, we were informed that Telangana government has asked the Institute of Chartered Accountants to design their commerce syllabus, which I think is a very good step. And maybe tomorrow we may see that even all the colleges, all the universities, their syllabus is designed by their respective authorities. Like in accountancy, it's commerce, it's Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. That way we can ensure uniform teaching right from class 11 onwards.
Right.
Over to Rima.
Thank you. Thank you. Now that we know the coming sessions of undergraduate and postgraduate, of course, undergraduate courses are going to be through CUET, we know, this year and subsequent years as well. So the upcoming session of class 11 and 12 can be prepared accordingly. They can be molded, the students can be molded to learn and to understand things in a certain way. It's definitely going to get better with the coming sessions, for sure, more clarity and more certainty. So Grewal sir has discussed some tips and strategies already for CUET.
No, that will take Rima a long time. We'll have another session for it.
Well, okay.
Which I plan to hold.
Right, sure.
We'll hold another session.
Sure. So,
and what I feel that we as teachers have to build confidence in our students. They have, what I will say, they have to be confident, have self-belief. I can do it and I will do it. Confidence, concentration, all these things. I think meditation maybe becomes a part of, say, that improves the concentration skills. What skills are required, like calculation skills, application of principles, all these will be required for good performance in CUET. Rima, please.
Right. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Kavita ma'am, would you like to impart any?
I think a very interesting thing he just mentioned too. I would just like to summarize it from a very typical school's perspective. That is, we need to shift the focus from rote learning to learning of concepts, to making learning an enjoyable process. At the moment, class 11th and 12th is nothing about concepts. It's all about board exams, acquiring certain scores, clearing certain entrance exams. The concept of learning, the purpose of enjoying the journey of class 11th and 12th is not there at all. Hopefully, when the pressure of the board exam marks, board exam results is taken away, children, I feel, probably will start enjoying everything that he was talking about, Dr. Grewal, will actually start happening over here. You know, the teachers, more like children are secondary. First step has to be taken by the teachers. They need to rethink how they're teaching, what they're teaching, and most importantly, why are they teaching it? Are they just teaching it for the board exams, or are they actually teaching it so the children understand and take it forward in their life? The learning, is it of any use to them in their higher education? And actually, if you see it, all undergraduate programs are based on the learnings of class 11th and 12th. But and I will talk from a very, very specific science background, because I come from a group of schools where science is the most important component we talk about. In fact, they do not even have humanities in majority of the schools in the South. Only a few limited schools have commerce. In science also, when children get into the engineering colleges and medical colleges, it is felt by the students that they didn't really learn anything in class 11th and 12th, and they have to start their learning all over again. So I really feel, with this shift happening from board exams to CUET, hopefully it will bring a change in the teacher's perception of how and what they need to teach. I am very hopeful for that. And as NTA kind of evolves and, crystallizes the whole plan for this CUET, there'll be more clarity for schools also how to take their lead forward for the coming batches. I feel that's a very positive sign for us to look forward to.
Sure. I kind of have a small question, though, to ma'am only. Why do you think it can impact the thought process of students in an adverse way, in the sense that now we don't have to score well in class 12, and what's the point of working so hard for that, and that way?
I already mentioned that we cannot take the relevance of the board exams from their lives. The board exam have to be relevant. Even so, what I'm just trying to say is, somewhere what and how they are learning for the board exams, that needs to change. We do not need to take the relevance away of the board exams. At the moment, the board's exam only serve one purpose, which is like a stepping stone to the next level. If we kind of bring their importance down there, that board exam is not the only stepping stone to your next level. You have a CUET exam, which will also be important, but CUET exam does not really see your marks. Its pattern is going to be very different. It's going to be based on how you learn and what you've learned. I think there needs to be a shift. As it is, the whole new education policy is talking about a very 360-degree shift in all our learnings that we are going to impart, in our assessments that we are going to be conducting in the future. Hopefully, this is all, aligned towards one goal, where we improve the learning outcomes of our students.
Absolutely.
Which is really, really the need of the hour.
Right.
I'll just add to this what Kavita ma'am has said. Yes, a new type of challenge the schools will have to face. The school management, the school principal and his team or her team has to relook. Are we, if we want to remain relevant,
Yes.
are we catering to what is required by the students? Even for sure, they need to understand the concepts. For that, if you make learning relevant to them, then the relevance of a board exam continues. One. Secondly, parents have to be counseled, because now this for sure will add to our problem, students going for dummy schools, very good students scoring very high mark in our 10th board, they leave the school, join as dummies. This pressure will add on now. How the school devises its policies, shares it with the parents, shares with the students, that is going to be another factor which every school has to really work on. Next 10-15 days, the management, the school teachers must sit down and think. They need to talk to the students, they need to talk to the parents. Otherwise, for sure, some addition in the number of dummies is likely to increase, because they would say the board exam is not that relevant. But if we as teachers, we in the management, train our teachers, talk to the students, have some sessions with the parents time and again, because school life is school life. This will not come after 12th. Then the rat race is on. All competitive exams are going to be on. If they improve upon their learning here, if we can give them those aspects which NEP is insisting, doing away with the rote learning to the critical thinking, problem solving, all those aspects, then I think if we are able to communicate well with the parents, I'm sure the relevance will remain, students will remain with us. Only thing is, gear up. It's time for us to rethink, motivate our teachers, because there will be some teachers also will say, "Ab kya fayda? What is the point?" Now students will not take it seriously. Now, one important aspect to which I thought I should take up in this, that mathematics, which generally becomes irrelevant, is relevant here again. Class up to class 8, mathematics concepts are important. So I think in the school level, we should be interacting with the students from time to time, that up to class 8 or up to class 10th, mathematics is very important, and those are again going to be relevant in your CUET exam, because in general test, there is an element of mathematics there, which needs to be kept in mind. Otherwise, what happens, I am going to go for, say, humanities subjects, I don't have to study maths. That is the feeling people have. This has to be addressed properly at the school level, I think so.
I think, Dharji, you are very right. But one thing I always feel, that why students run away from mathematics. Like when I was a school level student, I also used to run away from mathematics. And probably the fault lies with us teachers.
Yes.
When we say mathematics is very difficult. So instead of learning the concepts or learning the formula or understanding the formula, the word difficult goes into the mind.
Exactly.
So that thing has to change. We have to tell that, yes, it is very simple. It is not difficult at all. So that way we have to change our teaching methods. And one thing comes to my mind, that why not the board change the examination pattern on the lines of CUET examination?
I think that would be a relevant thing, at least if they, like we had the 2 terms, term 1, term 2 this year. One term was MCQ, another one was subjective type. Something on that line pattern schools can adopt in 11th standard for sure.
Yeah, maybe 50% MCQs and 50% other things. And all these measures will make our students employable. Right now, our students, when they come out of the school or even when they come out of the college, they are not readily employable. They have to be trained all over again. So all our subjects have to be aligned to bring it to the practical levels. You will be surprised that in Delhi University, Dharamji, because you are from the accountancy side, they are still teaching the old schedules, old accounting standards, which have all changed.
My God.
So they have to change along with the time. Let me share with you that in 2 years' time, CA training and CA examination is going to change. It is going to be overhauled. Yesterday only the in-principle approval has been received from the government. So it is going to change. It is going to change with the time. So that is what education is all about. It has to change as the time changes.
Very correct, Grewal sir, behind. So the thing is, we are scared, but first of all, we should accept that this is a holistic change.
Yes.
Now we are going towards holistic education. And I have a full belief in our education system and our schools. If we could survive and our teachers could do great things during the pandemic and they came out, I think those coaching institutions cannot compete with the schools. Only thing is we have to change our vision. And how can we change that vision is, first of all, stop teaching. There should not be teaching in the schools, there should be learning in the schools. So schools should be the center of learning, not center of teaching. How it that first of all, we need to train our teachers to learn. They will learn the new concept, they will learn the new ideas, they will learn the new strategy just to share with the students, and they should become facilitators. And here the whole system is changing, like the American schools and UK schools, that we are learning together. And basically, like I started one very beautiful concept long back for especially the IIT and NEET students, that I told students that every day each student will bring one question which has 4 alternate answers and will drop in a box. It was compulsory for all the students. I started in my schools here also. So the point is that when child have started framing the question, and any child who was not bringing the question, he used to put a slip inside, God bless me. So they were forced to do it, and then they started enjoying. And I used to give pen to the best question of the month. Now, if you know how to tie the knot, you know how to open it. So if you know how to put a trick into the question, then you know how to identify the trick. And now for 15 days, like from 15 June onwards, I will be starting a session of 15 days for my class 12 students who are passing out. With teachers, they will come to the school and they will try this through this exercise and the material available, that how to crack CUET. Now, school should come up with a strategy to compete with that. And I'm quite sure that the government as well as NTA is taking care of this particular aspect, where everywhere brainstorming going on, that how we can make the board examination also useful and significant. And that is very much there. And during this, there were a lot of discussions that let's take on percentile basis all the boards, and all kind of concepts were there 5 years back also, where 4 or 5 states withdrew. Now, this is the time when school management should take the forward step, considering it a welcome challenge, accepting it, and picking up this bull with the horns and then pushing it out. That is very much required. Teachers should be given a training, and this learning must start. We the schools are the pioneer, and all these coaching institutes have learned from us only. So we should come out of fear. Then only we can have these challenging situations facing considerably.
Right.
Well, you are very right. At all our teachers, they have come out very well during the COVID period, adapted the technology, and I'm sure the new challenges coming up, we will certainly come up with the solutions. We will certainly face this challenge.
Thank you, sir. So with this, we are coming close to the end. And I'd request our panelists to give their closing remarks. And with that, we can close today's session. So, Kavita ma'am, may I request you to?
Before I say that, I just want to add one thing here, that why do coaching institutes come? Whenever there is a gap, something else will grow in its place. So having said that, where the CUET is concerned, it's a very, very welcome move. The only thing that is needed, as always has been, is the responsibility of the teachers to rise to the challenge and rethink how they have to train their children for the exam. It's a very, very simple thing to do. It's not so much as students' responsibility as the school and teachers' responsibility to rethink how and what they've been doing. Like Sir before said, it's only about teaching. Schools have been teaching, not really learning, ensuring learning happening. So that's what I would like to say. Teachers need to adapt to it and make sure children learn adequately.
So, Dr. Sharma, would you like to speak something?
Yes, of course. Actually, even in coaching institutes, not superhumans are teaching. They are teaching, all of them are humans. Only thing is we have to boost the confidence of our teachers, provide them opportunity to learn. I'm very happy and I'm very fortunate that whenever I call Dr. Grewal, he came to Doha twice, and then even in Ludhiana I called, he came. So we need to call all the experts of subjects so that our teachers can get confidence, and we can adopt to the same kind of strategy, even a better strategy than the coaching institutes, because our teachers are more professionals than those ones who are being, in most of the coaching institutes, they keep changing the people, and the people who are coming, they are all amateurs, and we have mature teachers. With mature teachers in a mature strategy, we will win the battle.
Absolutely. Dharam sir, would you like to add something here?
Very rightly said by Mr. Sharma that we have the best of the team in the schools, and students are with us for a longer duration. So we can create the confidence in them and work with them. And once we are able to work with them, we are able to give them the confidence. The same child goes back to the parent and says, I am more than happy with my school and my teachers, and please don't push me for those competitive exams outside. My school will take care of CUET, and I will be able to do well in my life. That is the kind of confidence we have to generate, and with the time we have the child with us, I think it's possible for us to help the child to grow. My good wishes to the students who are going to appear for this CUET exam this year, and prepare well. My good wishes. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So let's hope we have a nice change in mindset going forward. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, all the panelists. Thank you, Sultan Chand, for initiating this conversation. We will mark an end to this session today. And thank you. We thank you all for your time. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
So,
you.
I thank all the panelists for this animated discussion, and I'm sure, and thank you, Rima ji, for moderating the session. And I'm sure it must have helped all the listeners a great deal in understanding CUET. We at Sultan Chand Sons Private Limited wish all the students success in the upcoming important exams. Thank you very much for being here.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you, Sultan Chand, for. I hope they will be keeping a chain of such kind of.
Yes. They will.
Sure.
We look forward to it. Thank you.